Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of Rumble, ticker symbol RUM. And so I didn't necessarily want to go over this chart in this stream. I just thought it was kind of a poetic way to bring up the cheers. I did say I was going to make a drink for this stream because I had to work yesterday and today, so Sunday stream wasn't too eventful. I'm a little tired. I didn't want to make anything. And so, this stock tells you what this is without me, I don't know, being bad or whatever. Yeah, and I have a collection of shot glasses. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about this stuff. I have a number of these little glasses, and this one is from Pisa, and it is slanted. You guys probably can't tell. But yeah, it's from the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I spent 3 months. Was it 3 months? Yeah, I spent 3 months, 2 6-week periods there in 2016, and I love Italy, Pisa. And so, anyways, cheers to you guys. Happy Tuesday. It's kind of like my Friday. I have the next couple days off. It was a really long day at work, so I'm pretty tired, but I'm going to try to have some energy, go over some charts. There are a few I wanted to go over just to share some of the stuff that I've been doing, and then I did get a request to do some DD on AMC regarding a BlackRock position with the SEC filing. So I will pull that up in just a second. I just wanted to go over some of the charts. And before I actually take this, I just want to note that this is Ticker Request Live, which I normally do Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern, but it's Tuesday, October 22nd. I'm doing it tonight as well. Just kind of mixing it up because I had to work Monday morning and I was tired Sunday. And some people voted on me doing it Tuesday, so I thought I'd have some fun with that. And if you do have ticker requests, please request them one at a time just so I can share the love. But yeah, I think we might do a little bit of DD with AMC and BlackRock and stuff like that and go over some of these charts here. But yeah, cheers to you guys. I hope you're having a great start to the week. Tomorrow's hump day, so hopefully it's a good one. And yeah, I'm excited to not be at work during market hours tomorrow, so it should be fun. Anyways, cheers. I Part of the reason why I chose that glass is because it was one of my smaller ones. But after taking that, I could have made it bigger. But anyways, one thing that I wanted to talk about with Rumble is Mr. Chart Norris posted about it, and I had kind of talked about Rumble a while ago here, talking about these gaps to the downside, not necessarily expecting them to get filled, but we did just recently, come very close to filling this upper gap here. I have a very small position in it. And I'm kind of, leaning towards, this breaking out from this wedge. But these big wicks to the top side make me a little less confident in this trade. But yeah, I don't have a big position. And what I'm trying to do with positions that I establish is, have stop losses and to have no more than 20 positions at the end of every week. And right now I have 23, and so I'm trying to figure out, which ones do I cut? Rumble, I'm up a little bit in it. And so, yeah, I don't know if this is one I'll want to cut at the end of the week. But yeah, I feel less confident in it. It's a smaller position. So yeah, I'm just kind of, thinking about that. And also, I've talked about gaps, with AMC, GameStop. I think SoFi is a really good example where there were two gaps. The downside, it filled the top one, but not the bottom one. And then people who are like being very patient, waiting for that second gap to get filled, get left behind when there's a big rally. And so I'm kind of wondering if, this top gap will get filled, but not this bottom one. And if this top gap does get filled, I have a stop loss on Rumble, I believe at let's see, what's my stop loss at? And I have to say that I'm not too compelled by the company Rumble because I really, Russell Brand, I see some clips of his stuff, but I see his clips on YouTube and they advertise for Rumble venturing into coffee. And it's like, well, I don't want you to venture into coffee. I want you to do a good job as a internet video service, whatever, a platform. So I have a stop loss at 492, which is that prior low over there. So yeah, I only have 10 shares, so no big deal. I would get 10 more at 540. Yeah, so I'm kind of, I don't know. I think that this is one I might just take profits on, and focus on other stuff. Something else that, this is one that I don't hold. I find it kind of funny, timing of things. I put out a video yesterday, excuse me, on Tilray, ticker symbol TLRY, talking about how, I just think it looks kind of weak, that I think it's going to be coming down to around $1.42. For me, it's just like, I would see that as just like a great, great bargain. Right now it's below these levels. And so I just felt kind of skeptical of it. But then, of course, the day after I released that video, we get an over 8% candle on the day, breaking above the top of that down, that falling wedge. But really, it is just one close above. So what I would look for is another close above, let's see, really like 169, 168 maybe. But this could just be like we've seen, from this downtrend. When this was formed over here, we saw a wick go up to it to test it. Then we saw a wick go above, but get rejected from it. And then now we're seeing a candle go above. It could still get rejected. And then, in that progression, the next time that it would test it, that might be the breakout. And so I feel like this could very well be a T. So I'm still skeptical. I'm not chasing this, and I am still just waiting for $1.42, and I'm fine if it doesn't get hit. I'll be cheering for those who hold. I am really just trying to strategize and, in and out of positions each week, having no more than 20 positions. So ideally, taking at least 10% profits over the course of a week, but it doesn't always work out. But one of them that did work out that I'm actually really, really proud of, John, before I dive into Archer, I will throw up Rivian. And actually, Mr. Chart Norris was posting about Rivian, so we might have to pull up what he was saying about them. And you're saying that Rivian, good move off of LOD today. Is that low of the day? I don't know what. I'm really bad with that stuff. Hopefully, Tesla earnings help form the bottom. Yeah, and so I'll put up Tesla here as well. I do have one share of Tesla, which is just kind of like I've always wanted to hold it. I'm very proud of where I bought it at. But that was following having bought it at a better price and taken profits too soon. Bought back higher. But anyways, the thing that I did want to mention that's like a really nice trade that I'm proud of. So, I started talking about Archer maybe 3 weeks ago. This is Archer Aviation. They do it's like eVTOL. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's like basically like if you envision a drone, but it's like big enough for people to get inside. That's what Archer is. And it's kind of like air taxis type of thing. And just new innovative technology. I feel like they will have some hurdles with the FAA. You see some of that right here. FAA finalizes pilot training certification rules for air taxis. Is that Reuters reports? I always have a tough time knowing how to pronounce that. But anyways, I started talking about this a few weeks ago, maybe where this channel ends. I'm not sure. And, so I accumulated a small position. I had 40 shares, but then I had a buy order to get, I think, 60 more shares at maybe, I think, $2.95. So being just kind of like below $3, but above $2.90. And my average was $2.99. But I kind of thought, well, maybe it's not going to go to $2.95. Because there is this uptrending level. If we do respect that, I don't think it's going to go to $2.95. And if I am feeling pretty confident that there's going to be another dip, why don't I just sell what I have and then buy 100 shares, not at $2.95, but at $3 a share? And so let's see, when I'm just going to pull it up on my phone because that's where I keep track of my trades. But when did I sell those 40 shares? Yesterday. At market open, I sold my 40 shares. What was the high from yesterday? Oh, I guess the open is right here where the top of that candle is. The open was 305. And, what was the high? What was the high yesterday? 331. No, that's not right. I'm sorry. I'm looking at today's open and close. I'm like, I need to be looking up here to find that information. So yesterday's open was at 316, the high of 324. So I sold my 40 shares at 319 yesterday, and I just had that buy order at $3 a share for 100 shares, and that got filled today. And so now I'm up 10%, considering after hours pricing, up over 10%. And that's just a really nice. I'm very proud of that. Emotion free based on limit order when I was at work. And, so I'm just trying to think like, do I want to just take 10% profit and walk? Or, where do I see it bumping into some resistance? I do have a stop loss at $2.80. I had that before. I feel like I should probably do it at 282, but I just left it at 280. Yeah, I mean, I could see it bumping into some resistance right around 350, or here marked at like 345. That's the 236. Was a bounce there, and some resistance over here, some consolidation, a little bit of consolidation over there. So yeah, I mean, I could see that as resistance, or maybe these lows over here, that would be like 360. Maybe I just want to have fun with it and do 369. I don't know. Let's see where the 382 is. If that's 383. So yeah, I was wondering maybe the 382 is around 369. Just have fun with that number. But yeah, I mean, but I'm pretty new to managing stop losses, and so I mean, I could just not plan to sell it and take profits and just have the risk of maybe it goes down to 280 and I get stopped out, but maybe it goes up to 445, the 618 here. And from, my buy price, $3, that's up almost 50%. So yeah, I mean, I'll kind of evaluate what I do with this, but I feel like since I have 100 shares of Archer, and I have a stop loss, a thesis there, I might as well hang on to it and see what happens, and maybe get 50%, low stress, and instead maybe cut my Rumble position because I only have 10 shares. And if it does pull back, maybe I still buy 10 shares at 540. And still have the stop loss down here. And if that does get filled, then I just reevaluate and maybe pick up more closer to 350 or something like that. But yeah, so I just kind of wanted to share that because, I guess a few morals. I have Rumble. I feel good about it, but I feel like it's more Mr. Chart Norris's analysis. So not like I don't feel as confident in it because it's not my analysis, or really like emotionally confident, I would say. Till rate, totally botched that, but I think this could be a fake out breakout, and I do think that $1.42 could still happen, so I'm still waiting, but just funny how that works out. And then Archer, very proud of my dip buy there, and so we'll see what happens with it. But yeah, let's see. So I've got some charts to request. Okay, yeah, low of the day. And so what I might do, Bob, I don't know if you tuned in, I might go over Rivian real quick just because it'll be a little bit quicker to just go over the chart before kind of diving into the rabbit hole of some AMC/BlackRock DD, because I don't necessarily do that too much. So I'll probably, it'll be a little rabbit hole for me. But yeah, Rivian. And with that, talking about rabbit holes and whatnot, Mr. Chart Norris, I was just looking at him before streaming. Great guy. I'd recommend, as far as the charts that he posts, very clear, very simple, a lot of good trade ideas. I actually do have a call, a FUBU call that expires, I think, in May. I posted about it on my page. But yeah, just a very clear chart there. But he posted something on Rivian when I was scrolling through his stuff. Let's see. Just a few more things up here. Sorry if it's just scrolling. But let's see. NVIDIA. All right. I totally saw. Maybe I could just search the page. This is actually kind of nice. I had wanted to get. I had an order placed to buy 1 share, so nothing crazy, of Celsius at the closing price on this date here, where that cursor is, where the little green glove is. And it gapped up, and so my order didn't get filled. So that was disappointing, but, it has pulled back, and it could pull back to that level. I do not have a buy order placed, though, but But yeah, it's like there could be a much bigger upside move and less time wasted if getting into that position now rather than a week ago. But let's see, Rivian. Yeah, okay, so this is something that Mr. Chart Norris posted on October 17th, so about 5 days ago. Rivian weekly candle chart. And so that is kind of just like this falling wedge, I would say, or this falling channel, descending channel. I'm not sure exactly what you'd call that. But this is the weekly chart. He does seem to be feeling pretty good about this. This is one that I do hold, not a big position, but more than one share. So let's see, out of curiosity, oh yeah, this, I mean, that's looking really good with that big candle. That, kind of reminds me of this type of thing, lots of strength there. Not as much volume behind it though. So I guess maybe that's a little bit of a concern. Oh, but, I feel like I mention these a lot just because I think that they're just like it's a really cool pattern. And this is not necessarily it because doesn't have three candles here, but the rising three methods where you have a big green candle, a few inside bars that fade down, and then another big green candle that kind of like returns any of those losses from those 3 days in between. And so here, this is 6 trading days between these candles. It would have been nicer if this one closed a little bit higher. So let's see, closed at a price of $10.49. The close on the 11th was $10.50. So, a little bit higher than today's close. So, it does seem like there's a little bit, it's not as strong of a day as I would have liked to see. If it would have closed, let's see, the high on the 11th was $10.57. So if this closed 8 cents higher or 9 cents higher, really closing above the high here, I'd personally feel a little bit more confident in that this is not going to like give back some of those gains. But yeah, and kind of on that note of like closing high, this is something I was noticing at work, but wasn't paying too close attention to it. But like how this, big green candle for today, I was wondering, like I saw it like maybe 20 minutes or 40 minutes before close. It was trading around like 325, 326. And I was just looking at this wick up here. And so that's the, let's see, the high from the 18th, which was 328. And so I was like, well, I want to see it close above 328. And we ended up getting that. So I feel like this is just like a really strong candle, a really strong close. Although it is just one close that could be giving back those gains. So don't get, too caught up in stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, this is a really nice big green candle. And it does look like, it's been forming a bottom here, respecting that, getting higher lows, respecting this uptrend that I have drawn here. Which goes back to, the lows of 826, which is 52-week lows, I believe, all-time lows. And so, yeah, that looks good there. And I'm just going to, John's commenting again. Bought today a little above 10. Hope it holds. Yeah, so I'll share what I've done with Rivian. So basically what I had done is maybe you saw the video I put out on it, maybe not. But I was just talking about, and it doesn't always work like this. Just like, Tilray, I think it's a nice example of, the opposite of what I talk about can happen. And so I had talked about this being an inverse head and shoulders pattern, like right around here. I think on the 21st of June, somewhere around then, I talked about measured move to up here. And that happened. I didn't have a position, but I felt really confident in the analysis. It moved higher. And then so while it was up here, I began buying like one share at a time as it faded down. I think my average is right around $12 a share. And yeah, so I'm just going to pull that up. And like, not necessarily that you guys are interested in like what my positions are, but just so you're aware of like, I mean, I'm a pretty small time investor. Like most of my positions are pretty small. And that's because I have big position in AMC and some other stocks. And so I just try to trade around that and, just trying to practice based on, levels that I go over in videos and stuff. So anyways, I have 15 shares at an average price of $12. I did just recently pick up, let's see, over the past, since the 4th, I've picked up 3 shares at $10 a share, 2 on the 17th and 1 on the 4th. And then the last time I had bought was one at 1069, just, having fun with that number. And yeah, I think because I had an order placed at 1235 on September 20th, and it kind of crashed down through there. So we can see that this is, the 20th here. So I had a buy order of 5 at 1235, which was based on a Fibonacci level that I guess I don't have drawn up here anymore. Let's see, 1230. Yeah, I'm not sure, but you see this orange line here at $12. I think there was a level at 1231, and so I was just like, oh, well, I'll buy some at 1235. But yeah, only 15 shares, so nothing too crazy, but that's more than $100, so it's not nothing. And yeah, this is making me think, well, it's not at a low. It has moved, it's not at like $10, it's not at 983. But it's putting in higher lows, and maybe this is starting to get momentum. If Mr. Chart Norris is feeling good about this, oh, and I should pull up the weekly chart just so we can see that out of curiosity. I'm just going to remove the drawing so it's not cluttered, go to the weekly. And so what we can see here, just kind of curious, trying to learn from his analysis. So here he has that hammer candle, I guess. That would be this one. And then spinning top here, that does suggest kind of indecision, that it might be changing direction. Also with this wick down from the hammer, that does suggest, buyers stepping in there. This is another spinning top, smaller wick to the downside, closing lower. And that's actually, the low from here on the 11th, or for the week that ended on the 11th. That was 10:08, and then the close for this week that closed on the 18th closed at 10:04, so just slightly below that. But 983 is kind of like the line in the sand there. And so maybe actually this would be a nice one. Like I don't have a buy, actually, let's see. I have a buy order for 1 share at 983. I'm being a jerk with that. I don't think that's going to happen. So I should probably move that up, maybe increase the buy order to maybe, 5 shares, nothing too crazy. And then maybe having a stop loss around 983 with the plan to get back in if it does go notably lower. So that might be something. And this week, it's not a bullish engulfing because we didn't open lower than last week. Closed, but it is looking strong. It is looking like there could be a reversal. Also, weekly RSI does look like it could be flattening and starting to move up. The RSI from last week was 38.37. This week it's looking like 40.63, so it is popping up. And if we look at the MACD here, last week's histogram was negative 0.38. And this week, so far, it's negative 0.36. So it's getting less negative. So this could be like a total very nice bottom. And I might want to more aggressively buy the dip. I should probably, like Rumble. Maybe I want to get out of Rumble just because I'm not as compelled by it. And even if Rivian goes down, it's like I like the stock. I like the company. So that's always something that's good to consider. But is it a long-term or short-term thing? Since I already do have Rivian, it doesn't add to my 20-position portfolio that I want to keep, capped at that, closing every week. I've got 23 positions right now, and that includes calls and options and stuff. But yeah, let's see. Rivian, a good move off low of the day today. Yeah, and actually, I don't typically do this. I'm just not as used to doing this kind of analysis. But let's see. On the 10-minute, let's just see. Yeah, wow, wick down to 10:03, very quick. And yeah, it's just held there. Oh, that's the after hours. I'm not used to looking at it like this. But yeah, was below 10. Dang it, I should have picked up some. We all should have picked up some more shares there. And then, higher lows. And so, let's see, right at open, a little bit of a surge in volume. Yeah, volume picking up on the lows here. And as I thought, it's kind of like a double bottom there over the course of the day. And still, more volume pushing into close. So pushing it up. So, this is one that I do participate in stuff I write in the notepad, and I'm writing Rivian. I need to address my greedy 983 order for one share. I need to up the shares and up the price for that. And kind of on the note of me writing stuff in the notepad, one that I did have a position in, but I closed just because I'm not that compelled by it, and I've gotten kind of weird comments, people accusing me of plagiarizing, copying other people's analysis. But this is, let's see, LPSN, Live Person. Just out of curiosity, want to pull it up. And so, yeah, I mean, let's see. I don't know what I sold my position at, but I didn't take a loss or anything. I made a small percentage gain. But yeah, I was kind of worried. I think I probably sold up around here. So I think 23 is higher than I sold, 123. But I was just thinking, I think I had bought it 112, something like that. Let's see. I thought it was one of these candles or something. I was noticing something. Maybe it was, yeah, I think it might have been this or I don't know. Yeah. I bought at 112, made a very small profit. I had 100 shares, I think. But yeah, I mean, this would have been a really nice bounce. And yesterday, the low was 109. But yeah, I mean, I could definitely see this going up, as I've talked about in other videos. But it's just like, if I make a video about something and you see somebody else do similar analysis, let me know that somebody else is doing other analysis that I might be interested in it. But these people are saying, oh, you like copy this other guy's analysis. It's like, what are you talking about? And so that just rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know. Yeah, that's not what investing is about. And if, I'm refer to Mr. Chart Norris a lot. I like his stuff. And so, he posts that stuff for free, so no big deal. But yeah, anyways, nobody was asking about that. I'm going to delete it from the list. And yeah, just Rivian. Yeah, I mean, I guess I would look for, because we've got this, I've got this trend line that I've drawn going back in time, but like that low of 983, this low over here of 993, then this one, 996. 1001. So we're putting in higher lows pretty consistently. This does look like some pretty nice, with these big, any of the red candles are kind of like small fades, excluding this one. Let's not pay attention to that. But once we hit the bottom here at 983, the big moves have been green. And it, had some wicks up here that suggest, it's not too strong. But this, I like this, rising 3 methods. This would be a rising 6 methods, I guess. So I think that looks good. And just kind of taking a step back, coming back to this uptrend is based on the low of 826 connecting to the low from, I should note the date of that, sorry. The low of 826 from April 16th. And then this one is the low from October 4th, and that is at 983. So that's how you draw that trend line. So I just look for us to continue to hold that. Maybe we wick below it. Maybe we close below it one day. But I don't think there's a nail in the coffin until we get 2 closes below it. And so that would just mean that price is likely going higher. And, perhaps reclaiming that purple downtrend that was the neckline here before we got this measured move. So yeah, I'm liking it. And if Mr. Chart Norris is also liking it, I think that's a good sign too. But anyways, was I going to say something about Tesla, their earnings? I'm a little bit nervous about this. I'm just going to mention this real quick, and then Bob, sorry to keep you waiting. Then I will dive into AMC DD. But yeah, with Tesla at 217, I'm very proud. Okay, so I guess I've got a story for my buys. For me, I don't typically hold shares of position or have positions that are, over $30 a share. I just don't tend to do that too often. But Tesla's just I always wanted to hold. I actually remember when I was in college, I went to school in Boulder, Colorado. There was a Tesla showroom when there was a Tesla Roadster, and it was in 2010 through 2012. Wait, something like that. Yeah, 2010. And I just remember thinking, man, that guy's going to lose so much money. Yeah, and then I started to get into investing around there. Yeah, it was shortly after the financial crisis. I had gotten some extra like scholarship money, and I had some extra money because of that, and I decided to invest a little bit. And I did not choose Tesla. Did make a little bit of money, and that's my beginning of exposure to the stock market. I bought some shares of Citigroup. Via Scottrade, which had a $7 commission fee. That I'd call them up to place the orders and stuff. It's kind of I appreciate the aspects of being a millennial and stuff, and seeing the analog transition into the new age. But anyways, with Tesla, I bought the dip at I believe 145 when it was over here. I bought 2 shares, and then I think I sold right around here. I made some money with it, but it was just 2 shares, nothing big. And it's like, dang it, I should have held. Even now, I should have held. But then it's like, okay, well, what's my analysis? I'm surprised that I just based it on what looks like the golden pocket here. But I bought 1 share at $1.85 on, wait, actually, no, that wouldn't have been August 5th. Was that August 5th? Oh my God. That's crazy. I would be more proud if it was not August 5th. I thought there was when did I buy my 1 share, my 1 lame share? On August 5th. Yeah, okay. So I just had that level picked out because of the 65% level here. And, maybe I'd get another share back down here at 167. But yeah, bought that. I'm still holding it. Could have sold at, 267, I believe I had that. Gareth Soloway was talking about that. Didn't get all the way up to there. 265 about was the high. And so now we're trading lower. It doesn't look too strong, in all honesty. But maybe like the robo-taxi event kind of lowered expectations, and the earnings can, give it a boost, which is tomorrow. That's crazy. I didn't realize that. So I have a stop loss at what would be 10% gain, and I hope it doesn't get filled. But I need to be trading with stop losses and making 10% with Tesla is good, and then I can just look for another level to buy back in at if it doesn't go back to 185. But yeah, I mean, I can't fall in love, and that's just the way it is. And so let's see, I'm just going to draw a quick little trend line here. That does seem like maybe we could be at some support right now. I don't know, with those 2 lows. I don't know how significant they are, but that could also be that, it's right, above support. Maybe it breaks through it. So something to consider. But anyways, let's talk about AMC. Bob, sorry to keep you waiting. And so really, this is Bob. Bob sent me a message about 35 minutes before I started the stream. Said, what are your thoughts today, SEC Schedule 13G, on BlackRock buying/owning 7+% of AMC? And so let's look into that. I am not too used to doing DD like this, especially not live, but I'm happy to. So let's dive into it. So I'm just going to search BlackRock SEC, and that is a 13G AMC. Wait, 13G? I'm getting a little dyslexic here. 13G AMC. I almost thought 13C GME. Okay, so BlackRock ownership in AMC. Man, I can't wait. The start of next year, I'm going to shave my mustache, and I can't wait for it. Because it's just too long. I also need to trim it, but yeah, it just pokes my face all the time. Yeah, that's annoying. Let's see. Okay, so AMC Entertainment Holdings. This is from Fintel. I don't know if this is the best place to look, but this was dated from, I believe, August 9th. We can see here they own 4.9%. And let's see. BlackRock has filed an SC 13G/A from with the Securities and Exchange Commissioner, the SEC, disclosing ownership of over 25 million shares of AMC Entertainment Holdings. This represents 4.9% ownership of the company in their previous filing dated. In their previous filing dated 2022, BlackRock had reported owning almost 43 million. And so right now they own about 25. So they actually have a smaller position. And so this indicates that their position has actually gone down 41%. And so let's look at, what other sources do we have here? This is AMC Theaters. And so, yeah, let's see. SEC, this might be a better AMC Entertainment text. It's July 10th. Okay, well, that doesn't say BlackRock. But so, here. I wonder if I can just delete this text and have probably. Oh, yeah, okay, so there's the text we were just looking at. And we can probably just, this is headers index. I don't know if, so BlackRock, I might have to move Ed for a minute. Get out of here. All right, so BlackRock filed by CIK. I don't know what that is. Let's see. And this filing date, this is old. This is not relevant. So I can bring Ed back. Come on, buddy. All right. And so let's see. Let's check. These are 17. So yeah. What the SEC BlackRock AMC. BlackRock Financials SEC filing. Okay, so October 15th, which is a week ago. So let's see. Termination of registration of class of security under Section 12G. I guess I'll just accept all. And so this is the 1512G. Does this pull up the termination of security? Okay, so let's see. Let's check out the document here. Certification notice of termination of registration under Section 12G of Securities Exchange Act. And so let's search AMC. Not on here. So, but they did have, let's see, SEC filings. And so you were saying 13G. So this is a 12G. 1512G. Yeah, so I'm not terribly familiar with this stuff. So yeah, I mean, I feel like this has filed. This is from, okay, so that's 22. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I was 8/9/2022. And so let's see, latest disclosed ownership. It says 25 million shares. Even though this, yeah, because I mean, this information up here is recent. This is just from 2022. I should have read the year earlier. So, yeah, I mean, maybe find the latest. Okay, so this is like from the NASDAQ's website. And maybe pull up. I think this is probably going to be the same one that I was just looking at. BlackRock. Let's see. BlackRock common stock, SEC filings. See, I'm not sure if this is one from September 10th. So maybe there's something there. Let's see. This is 5 pages, so I can flip through this. Not too bad. Name of issuer, name of person filing. And then I might just search for AMC to see if that pops up. I can't imagine that it will. Nope. But yeah, I can check the other one they had from over here. We were saying 13G, yeah. Let's see. AMC, nope. Huh. Let's see. And so, yeah, I might just... Okay, so I'll just do BlackRock, AMC 7%. I'll just search that. How many shares of AMC does BlackRock own? And so, yeah, it says that. And so I can't imagine that would have changed because they probably have to file. Yeah, so I don't know. So I don't know. Hopefully that's helpful. But I don't really know where to go with this because I don't see anything as far as like, let's see, I can look up like the news here, but that's like really just like the stuff that you see behind me. And so we can see leisure facility stocks, second quarter in review, AMC Entertainment versus peers. Our short sellers closing in on AMC Entertainment. That's from TipRanks. Barrington sticks to its hold rating for AMC. Yeah, let's check out the analysis here. They have current price $4.34. This is based on 7 analysts. 0 say buy or strong buy. That's pretty crazy. Majority say, which I guess is like 4 of the 7, say hold. Highest price target is 8. That's kind of ridiculous. Although my price target's kind of 8. At this, basically I buy in calls, and somebody actually commented on a video that I did with AMC talking about, kind of makes sense to buy like short dated puts that have a strike of $4 and longer dated like $6 calls. So for me, I don't have any puts with AMC. If I'm short at all AMC, it's just because I have shares and I sell covered calls periodically. But I haven't really been doing that too much or not as aggressively as I used to, just because I feel like it's gotten so boring that there has to be something coming on the horizon. And yeah, when did I draw this? I had to have drawn this over the weekend. This was Friday, and we've had these past 2 days. It looks like we've broken out. Yeah, I think I, made a video about us breaking out. But we still have, I talked about in that video pulling back to like 424. We did do that, hit a low yesterday on Monday of 424, the day after I put out that video. So it was a pretty nice call. And then today we hit a low of 423. So orders at 424 would have been filled. I still, though, am, a little bit concerned. I might have to sneeze. One second. Excuse me. I had to mute it for you guys so you didn't hear that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I am a little bit concerned that it could be pulling back to $4. $4.03 was the low, and then it could be getting closer to filling this gap to the downside, even though I don't think it will fill the gap at 291. But yeah, I mean, this is looking pretty good. I feel like, the big move last Friday, good. Yesterday's uh, candle, I would say, does not look so great, given that it was after this, move up and get a big wick to the top side, pretty big wick to the bottom side, but also closing in the lower half of the trading, and that being like a spinning top, which suggests, if not reversal, indecision. And so with that being at the top, that kind of is more of a bearish or a reversal type signal. But then following that, let's see, what was the open yesterday? The open was 434. We closed at 434. Would have been nice if we closed at 435, get fully encapsulate the candle from yesterday, but that didn't happen. But yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about AMC, GameStop. I'll just pull up GameStop here because I talked about it coming down to 20. I really like it at 20 if it does because of this purple uptrend. That stands out to me, and because a lot of these other trend lines we've broken below, and that one seems like a pretty nice long-standing trend line going back to the low from May 24th. And so, yeah, but we did get a bounce today, and that is putting in higher lows. The low over here was 2030. The low from today was 2043. And actually, I feel like I had a level at 1243. Or just, yeah, that number. I don't know why. 1243, it stands out to me. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we're looking towards a pretty nice end of the year, whether it's AMC, GameStop, a lot of stocks. I'm really excited for the end of the year. So, yeah, and for GameStop, let's see. I had a smaller buy order. I don't have a huge GameStop position. I did have a bigger one earlier, but selling covered calls, I got kind of pushed out of my position. Hard lesson learned there. We have a buy for 14 shares at $20, and that would get my total share count up to 60. Not huge. But yeah, I don't know if that's going to get filled. And maybe I want to move some of that capital over to Rivian because I'm kind of intrigued by that. And I do have a bigger position in GameStop than Rivian. And yeah, so I don't know. But yeah, I see there's still a couple people here. If there's anything else you guys want me to go over, I could also just ramble and go over some Unusual Whales stuff. I think Unusual Whales is such a nice tool, but I don't have the time or energy ever. It's like I'm either tired from work trying to make videos or tired from doing work outside and trying to make videos. And so I don't have time to sit down and really just study Unusual Whales. Maybe I'll pull that up. And then if you guys have requests for me to go over some charts, I can as well. But yeah, let's look at, so I got some custom alerts here, which I don't really find to be that useful because it's just to me, it's too much noise. And these dates are from the 15th, so I'm just going to refresh this page. Now we've got some stuff dated for today, the 22nd. And so maybe we want to look at some of these contracts. I find that to be intriguing. And oh man, I'm curious to actually look at the SoFi chart and the Palantir chart. And yeah, maybe not of interest, but a fun little tidbit. One of the things I'm really excited about also with AMC, GameStop, crypto is I've had some debt for a little while that I kind of strategically took out, and I owe interest on it starting in November, so I'm paying it off. But I really liked getting a credit card and getting rewards and also getting interest using the credit card with zero APR to spend money and then put that money, the cash, into savings, then earn interest on that. And so SoFi just recently sent me a card offer for you spend $1,000 in the first 90 days, get $200 bonus, and zero APR for 15 months. So I'm probably going to sign up for that, but I first have to pay off my debt. And so I got SoFi there, and Palantir is the other one I was thinking of. And so yeah, I'm just excited about that. It's like kind of a not so exciting financial game, but I like playing that. Palantir, I had some shares that I got somewhere over here. I think 24.50 was my average. But then I was trimming on the way up, and I sold my last share at $40 a share. I think that this could be coming back to 38.63. And so I have a buy order for one share at 38.63. If that gets filled, great. Then I have one share. If it doesn't get filled, then that's fine too. But yeah, I want it to come down because I want to have a Palantir position. Palantir is very similar to like Tesla for me. Like it's one that I'm very intrigued by. Hey Sean, what's up? Yes, I'll definitely check out Walgreens Boots Alliance. Gareth Soloway has actually talked about them. So if I ever post, I believe I posted one of his videos today. Game plan. And actually, did I watch? Yeah, I watched that at work. I also watched his Trading the Close, I think, when I came home. I'm not sure if I watched the Trading the Close. But he's talked about Walgreens Boots Alliance and that being a good buy right now because and I had talked about it a while ago. It wasn't popular, so I probably won't do a video on it because it's just like more of a, it's not an exciting stock that people really like to watch YouTube videos on. But with that one, I had talked about it a while ago, and I talked about the price going down, and they pay a dividend. And somebody, a routine commenter at the time, who I haven't seen in a little while, was mentioning that it's a good dividend position. So even if it goes down a little bit, it's still good. But it's come down quite a bit. So I have some lines in the chart that'll kind of highlight where I was talking about it at before. And yeah, so SoFi 1058. Dang, man. Yeah, because, and this is one that, there's a gap down here at 603. It came down to 601. There's this other gap to the downside at 541. And I think this, for me, invaluable lesson learned here for me is that just because there's a gap to the downside does not mean it's going to be filled. And what I find happens, and like as a psychological game, an emotional game, people like me waiting for 541. I want that gap to be behind us before I get in it. And I should have been like, well, 603, that gap was filled. Go long, go hard. And now it's up, almost 100%. 76%. But yeah, this actually, I think that this has to be pulling back at some point, but nobody wants to hear about that. So I probably won't be doing a video on SoFi because, yeah, and then also it's like a double top here a little bit. So, yeah, I think at this point it's risky. But, yeah, it could be going up to... Oh, yeah, I was thinking that this was close to 12. It's close to 11, not 12, from 6 low here. But anyways... And Don, what's up? Let me know which one you prefer I go over. I've tried to do just one request at a time in case it gets crowded. I don't want other people to be hanging out. So let me know if you prefer IBM or GATX, and I'll go over that one first. But let's see. I will go over, what was I just? Walgreens Boots Alliance. All right. So yeah, actually, yeah, so Gareth, he had his lines drawn up a little bit different. And I think that he might have done a post on it. It's probably on his website, so I could check that out. I had drawn something slightly different. I wasn't able to get it matched up just like his. And actually, dang it. You know what I did? I had these lines, these historical lines, and I cleared them off just to draw this one simple line. But what we can do is, let's see, let's check out my channel, and we can go to videos. Can I search WBA? Yep, Walgreens Boots Alliance. This was 11 months ago. And so, 11 months ago. It's like December, November. It's crazy. I've been making videos for like a year now on this channel. Look at how old of a style this is. Oh man, it's crazy. I've been making videos for this channel for a year. This one got only 10 views. How cute. Anyways, let's see. Walgreens Boots, key levels below converging resistance. And so let's see, from 11 months ago, that was around, yeah. So just from that thumbnail, I think we can maybe see, something going on here. So it's green and then red. I think it's that. And then let's see. Yep. So I think this is like where I was talking about it. Say, key levels below converging resistance. So I was talking about there being resistance here as well as here. And then, it kind of broke out, went up. But I was making that video when it was, so yeah, you can see it pretty nicely. This red candle here, I don't know how closely you can see it. And you can see it right there. There's like this green with a little bit of like a gap there. And so there's that. So I was making this video on this day, on November 17th. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I'll just share it. And I'll say, how did I do? What? I wanted to comment on that. Weird. Man, what happened? Okay, so I want to share, create a post. What the? This is not what I wanted to share. I don't know what's going on there, but anyways, I guess I won't share that. But let's see over here. So I was talking about that right here, November 17th about, and price was around $20 a share. It's now down more than 50% from there. See, I think I was talking about something like this. And then something like from over here. It was probably not the best analysis. But yeah, that looks actually pretty similar to what I had drawn. And interestingly, look at this level. Came down to it right here, then pulled back, tested that. So maybe that was a good one to have up on the chart. And now we're, well below it though. So not really that great, but maybe that's a good target level. And so, yeah, I'm going to pull up, let's see, verified investing.com. I don't know. Yep. So this is here. I don't want noise. Let's see. Trade analysis alerts. I will accept all this stuff. I've never actually been to his website. Verified Pro Chart stocks and ETFs. And so maybe we could, charts. Let's see. Maybe there's some chart stuff. I think he talked about, let's see, Dixie. I think he had talked about, I don't want to say Wall Street Bets, but I mean, Walgreens Boots Alliance. Let's see. Pretty sure he posted something on this. Yeah, so I'll go one more, and then if not, then I'll look elsewhere. But he's totally talked about it in one of his videos. If he does post about, go over it again, I will share it. But yeah, so there's so those are economic charts. I'm an idiot. So verified approach. This is what I would want to look at. Tesla. I'm pretty sure he did. Okay, so Netflix, S&P, Tesla, Russell, Amazon, S&P, Apple. I know he did one on Wall Street Bets. I'm pretty sure. Or damn it, I keep saying Wall Street Bets. I mean, Walgreen Boots Alliance. Maybe he posted it on X, so maybe I'll just check there. I'll go one more page over, or maybe it was just in a video. Because I don't have the trend line right, and so I just kind of want to make sure I, emulate what he's doing. Let's see. So I am going to go home. I don't know. I did not do this today with Archer. I bought the bottom, and I'm holding. Hopefully it's not at the top yet. But anyways, I'll pull up Gareth Soloway. And I'm going to see if he has anything about Wall. Oh, dang it. Bitcoin. It might be a couple weeks, so I might just scroll a little bit. And see. Bitcoin again, Ethereum. Might be a couple weeks. Bitcoin again, Ethereum. Let's see. Bitcoin again. All right, Apple, come on, Bitcoin. Maybe this is maybe he didn't post this because it's not super interesting stock or not a lot of traction on it. Maybe I want to pull up his YouTube page and search there. Yeah, what is this? That's Bitcoin. I don't think I'm going to see. Yeah, this is too old. So what I might do is pull up subscriptions, go to his channel, and then search WBA. Okay, so this is from 4 months ago. Dang it. 3 months ago. Updated today. Well, what's the playlist? And so, yeah, he had drawn it where it was breaking out already. So, I mean, the line that I've drawn is clearly not right. All right, so I'm going to pull back to this and see. I think it was just a shorter time frame. I had gone too long term, but still, I mean, with that, it's not surprising that it's gotten rejected there. Where might it be pulling back to? I could see this pulling back to, this is probably going to be, well, actually, I mean, it makes sense very clearly why it would be getting rejected from there. You've got this longer term downtrend here, shorter term, and this was resistance going down. This is resistance also going down, but less steep. They intersect right there, so very likely that you'd be seeing a pullback. We now have this gap here that needs to get, well, it doesn't need to get filled, but, it might get filled. The close here on the 14th was at $9. Also being somewhat of a psychological level, being a whole number. So we got that gap down there. And let's see. I mean, we've got, let's see, a little bit of array here. Got something going on like that. I don't know. But, I mean, maybe it's not going to be array. Maybe it's going to be just a horizontal line going across the tops over here. 920, maybe, yeah. That's not too far from now. But yeah, I mean, if it does, pull back a little bit, then it could potentially be getting up to this downtrend, just like how this one was, significant level of resistance there. Pretty cool how we got those two intersections there. And yeah, maybe there's another, I'm just going to be drawing a bunch of lines on this. That doesn't make sense. But I mean, yeah, it seems like there's just like a lot of levels like right around here, broke above them, it got rejected from here. And now, I mean, there's that gap there. There's also a gap here. So this could be like kind of like the two gap scenario where there's a gap down here at the very bottom that somebody who's very greedy but patient is, waiting for that gap to get filled. That's at 825 was the close there. So there's a gap down there, but, let's see, what other gaps are there, though? This candle here from the 3rd closed at 867. We got a low here of 867, so that gap's filled. Let's see, what was the close here on the 26th? The close was 852. What was the low over here? 852. So like these gaps are being filled. And this one, it's like there are these two gaps. And so I feel like this is a two gap scenario. And $9 might be pulling back to that, filling that gap, but leaving this one behind. And then people who get left behind will FOMO in when price breaks above, this high here, 1111. Is that right? Yeah. So I feel like that is the FOMO. What color should be FOMO? I'll just do green. It's going to start ripping faces off when it gets up to there. And this is the buy right here. It's kind of my thought process. Around $9, so going down almost 10%. Is that 10%? Yeah, about 90 cents. Yeah, and then I see some other comments. Okay, and then so let's see. So Don had comment IBM and GATX, but did not follow up. Sean, yeah, thank you. Yeah, take a look. WBA. Oh yeah, his video. Oh, I thought you said this video. Yeah, so I'll try to look tomorrow. I'm not at work tomorrow, so I could potentially look it up and post it. It's probably on the channel, but I'll try to repost it on my channel's page, and I'll note WBA so you can take a look at it. It's probably from. He has more content in his game plans. And so it might be one of those over the past week, but all of his videos I think are really great. That's how I learn all this stuff that I post here. Even though, I still am learning from mistakes, I, learned a lot from it. But yeah, so Sean's saying, Ricardo, and so just to note, Ricardo, I do see your comment about GVO. I definitely will look over it. And Ryan, I will also look over SNDL. And I've kind of gone over that, I feel like in a sense with Tilray, but I'll pull up the cannabis stocks here in a minute. But let's see. Sean's saying recently bought into WBA for $8.69. I feel like you're probably safe. I mean, because I feel like I just like the psychological argument of there being two gaps, people being left behind, and then them FOMOing in because they recognize they're being that they're being left behind. Like this gap gets filled, people say I'm waiting for this, but then it starts to move. And then because this gap wasn't filled, the people who got it to move, the institutions, whatever, who are getting it to move, the big money, pushing it higher. And then when it gets up to here, then the little people that are down here that were stubborn end up FOMOing in, and that pushes it even higher. And that's when the people who bought here take profits. Um, and so, yeah, I've got some. I don't know how the bugs are doing for you guys in the season, but they've gotten to be annoying again where I live. Um, so I've got some little bites here and there. But yeah, 869. I think that's a good bet. It's also a fun number. Congrats for doing that. Um, but yeah, so I mean, and to be honest, like Gareth's been bullish about WBA, and I think he was also talking about kind of like a comparison between this and I don't know CVS. Like CVS is overbought. This seems oversold. Yeah, wow. And I've got these lines down here. I'm surprised. I guess I just deleted all of the lines that I had up there. What was this that was drawn down here? Um, but yeah, I mean, 869. If 869 does pull back to, I would not expect it to come down to 825. And if it does, then it's like a new low basically. And so who knows how low it could go from there? Because like, yeah, I mean, you scroll back and this is all just like hitting new lows until this one, then it had a really nice rally there going up 40%. So yeah, I mean, like new lows, same with new highs, is followed by more of the same. But yeah, so I'll pull up Gevo. Somebody was commenting on that on a GameStop video that I put out. So I'm kind of curious. I'm a little speculative of it. And maybe it was you, Ricardo, but it seemed very like out of place. But yes, I mean, clearly this is very, very high. And a thing that, maybe is compelling, maybe it's not. Let's see. Oh, yeah, well, no, not compelling. Because I was thinking that, there's higher highs in the stock price. Is this a lower low? And so we have 8503 over here. And now it's at 8664. So still higher, but I mean, it's not much higher. Price is a lot higher. I feel like. Let's see. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, when stuff. I mean, here, this is just like a easy way to break it down. This is from like the market low, or like the big panic day, August 5th, up to now. We're looking at 600% move. So, I mean, and there's this gap here. I feel like it's pretty risky. So, I mean, if you're in this position right now and you are up, if I was in this position and I was up, I would for sure be trimming. I probably wouldn't be holding at this point just because then it's like, like I'm trying to get better at just like taking 10% swings, 20% swings, and just kind of like rinsing and repeating. But something like this, a 600% move, it's, yeah, I mean, tough to beat that, and then there's a lot of downside risk with this potentially going lower. It was me, yeah. You FOMO'd in at 317 because they announced over $1 billion loan from government. Yeah, so at this point, yeah, 317. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I like one of the things like so for me, I've been talking about Tilray. I'll go over Sundial in just a minute. But I had a trade. I was planning on hoping to make money on around earnings. I did like kind of like an unusual whale series on that, and it was kind of having some bearish signs, but I was hoping that it would be going higher. I ended up selling some calls that I had at a loss. No big deal, because it wasn't huge, and also a learning experience. And I sold some shares with a stop loss. And I think it's possible with today's move, those calls would be green. I would be green with them. I forget. Let's see. I could probably look it up from over here. Let's see. Not alerts. Contract lookup. Tilray. So I was probably, nope, not puts. Tilray, this $2 calls for 11.15. And so they're 8 cents. So, yeah, I mean, when was their earnings? Their earnings was on the 10th, I believe. So going back, I got to go back 2 weeks. And so, yeah, I mean, the 10th was over here. Yeah, I mean, even with the big move today, I'd still be negative on my calls. Actually, I think I sold them at 6 cents. So I would have lost less money. Yeah. So that sucks, but at the same time, I had a plan that did not work out, or I had a hope. I had yeah, and they so there's the plan to the upside or the hope to the upside, didn't play out, and so I instead got all these little bites on my arm. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I mean, so my plan was if it goes wrong, I have risk management with stop losses, and I think I was planning on hoping to cut losses at 8 cents, but I could have gotten it at 7 cents. Instead, I cut losses at 6 cents, and this is contract, so it's 6 cents is $6, and I had, I don't know, 8 of them, something like that. So I didn't lose a lot of money. But I think my average is probably, let's see, I think 10 cents. Because I think I was hoping for at most a 20% loss. And I took a 40% loss. But yeah, anyways, I forget what I rambling about that. Oh yeah, because this, I think this is applicable to Gevo. It's like I see this big move, and I was just put out a video yesterday talking about this going down to 142. And so my thesis is this is coming down to 142. And because there's this big move here and it's broken out of this downtrending wedge, the top of this wedge that I have drawn here, my thesis is still that it's coming down to 142. I'm not shorting it. I'm just waiting to buy at 142. And for me, it's there's this big move. It makes me want to go after it. But this is only one candle outside of it. And so, tomorrow there could be a complete reversal and we're back down here. So I'm not chasing it. And so I think this is it's good to have that kind of plan. And so something with Gevo, it's just gone up so much. When do you think I should put a stop loss if I ever do put one? Okay, so so anything like that, not financial advice. I am just a retail trader who likes making videos on YouTube and talking about charts, learning from my mistakes and stuff. So, no recommendations there. But if I were to have a stop loss, I don't know. Because let's look back at the history, and maybe there's something over here that I feel so. I'm just thinking about this gap being here. So I'll draw some lines. Maybe that'll help us think about what makes sense. So close here, 225. And also too, as far as managing risk and stuff, I think position size is a really big factor. For me, I tend to start with very small positions. I'm talking buying one share at a time. But then I've realized that I just end up buying things and accumulating as things fade down. And I should be more deliberate about my levels. And so now I'm getting better at that. With Archer, I had a buy order for 100 shares at $3 today. That was filled. That was great. And I'm holding that. I'll probably sell maybe this week or next week, but I don't want to be holding stuff too long a term or just getting too emotionally attached to stuff, because I have too many positions like that, like AMC, GameStop, and stuff like that. But with this one, so 225, I mean, I think it could be coming down to that level. And 225, similar to over here, this little, actually, yeah, there's like, low over here, consolidation. That was resistance here, so that could be support. And so, I mean, I feel like this could be like, and I'm also not great at stuff like this. For me, it's like, oh, this has gone up a lot. I'm going to take profits. And I don't care what happens after that. And now it's just like, I mean, let's think about like the MACD and stuff and the RSI. RSI, it's pulling back here. I mean, I don't know. What was the high today? 339. Thanks. It seems like there's a 3-year cycle on this company. So let's see. And what is this company, by the way? Gevo is a carbon abatement company focusing on transforming renewable energy into energy-dense liquid hydrocarbons that can be used as renewable fuel, such as sustainable aviation fuel. The company operates in 3 segments, focused on research and development activities related to the production of SAF, and commercial opportunities for other renewable hydrocarbon products such as renewable natural gas, other renewable stuff. And yeah, I mean, I wonder if it maybe is tied to like the political cycle or anything like that. But I'm just going to switch over to the month. Oh, well, yeah. I don't know. I mean, let's think about this. Yeah. So I'm not used to like analyzing stuff like this. Unless I'm like really like I pay a lot of attention to them. I mean, here's the difference that stands out to me between what we're seeing here versus what we're seeing here. The RSI is at 41.86, and this is for the monthly, whereas over here it got up to a high of 27.01. And so that stands out to me as like this is overbought because this is the monthly time frame. If we look at the daily time frame going back, and this could also too be like things happen in threes. Maybe there's another one more opportunity. I mean, here, big move up, kind of like going up higher, kind of a double top there in the RSI. Oh, let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would say, like, as far as stop loss, I'm not sure. I feel like this could very well be pulling back to 225, maybe finding that as support. But this could continue to go higher. So, I mean, like maybe if you're feeling unsure about it, I mean, because this is like, yeah, after 600% move, that's like, if people could make this, if people made this trade, that this could be their only trade, for a year. And so, it's already back at 3. I don't know. It depends on the position size too, how big it is. But I'd prepare for the possibility of it coming down to 225. But also so maybe it's like, might be good to have a limit sell at 317 at break even to just lower the exposure so that if it does pull back to 225, you can add there, or maybe you get out at 317 and buy at 225. But yeah, let's see. And then I'll probably draw a trend line here. This maybe would suggest, yeah, I mean, because this seems like it's just from those 2 highs on the daily chart. It looks like it's at resistance now. Maybe it forms like a bull flag and moves higher. Yeah. So that's like, that's a bigger position size than I could have. I'm not managing that much money. Like I say in a lot of videos, I'm a small fish or a little fish. Um, so yeah, like because I mean, like a get rich quick, I think is like a very like I don't know. There's probably a saying that like the fastest way to become poor is to try and get rich quick. Um, Yeah, because I think that there's tons of other stocks that, have. I mean, just think you were commenting on the GameStop video. Like, just think about how, I mean, GameStop, AMC, very speculative, but I mean, there was a big move up here, two big moves, third big move here, and it's gotten really boring. So I think that this is like primed to take off. I just made a video about it going down to $20 a share. And just like with my Tilray video, doesn't always happen. And so, um, yeah, I mean, I feel like that there are other opportunities that are uh, better for quick gains or speculative gains. But yeah, Gevo, I feel like 600% to the upside. That's way more than GameStop was up here. I mean, this went. Uh, Actually, no. I mean, yeah, this was 500% to the upside, and with the after hours pricing, I think it went up to like 80. That's 600%. What happened after that? So I think that there's a good amount of risk with what you're doing, and so yeah, I mean, yeah. So I'll leave it at that because I know I was getting some at 317.9. Yeah. So I mean, I think there's a good chance that um, 317 can be hit again. Let's see. Yeah, and also too, I mean, like, with this, price has gone up a good amount. Volume's kind of calmed down and it hasn't really come down too much. So this could be a bull flag. This could be or just some bullish consolidation. But with that being said, I don't think that there's going to be another 600% move. I don't think there's going to be another 100% move. And so I feel like it's good to trim out and yeah, like I mean I like from this video just talked about uh, Archer looking pretty good. Although I bought at the low today. Um, GameStop, AMC. I mean I think that those look good, but for longer term. But they're like AMC is like following this big move. AMC is at the lower portion of the range that it's been trading in following that move. So I feel like it's a good deal. Maybe it breaks lower to like around $3 a share, but that's risking 25% basically when from current price just to get up to these highs here, that's over 100% swing. And one of the things I think is difficult with AMC, GameStop, stuff like that, though, is that there's like this community of people who are just like diehard holders and stuff. And so, I mean, like, with that being said, for me, it's like I have way more shares than I ever intended on having. With AMC, GameStop, not as much, but it's like, you got to manage your risk, and everybody's different. And if you're still like, you still be a part of the community and you can still trim when things go up. So I don't think there's anything wrong about that. So, I mean, if you, were thinking about, getting into something else, this is something that I think that there's a good amount of upside that I think is fairly conservative. Whether it's AMC or GameStop, you pick your poison. Rivian's looking really good. I was just talking about that. And that's after, I mean, it's pulled back 50% basically. So going back up to those highs, that's a 100% swing, 80% swing. So I think this is one, it's a company that's good fundamentals. I think that it's an intriguing, like more adventure EV car company. So I'm intrigued by that. Rumble, I mean, really just because like Mr. Chart Norris has talked about it, I'm intrigued by it. So yeah, I mean, there are a number of good plays to be in. It's like tough to know which ones to go in because there's so many. But anyways, I'm neglecting some people. I see Nameless. Hey, what's up? And then also I do need to go over Ryan's request of Sundial. So I'll actually pull, well, actually, before I pull that up, I'll see what Nameless is requesting. Uh, it's saying, great to see you on the weekday. It's been a while. Could you check out TMC? Yeah, I'll add TMC up here, but then I'm going to switch over to the cannabis list that I have, and I'll come back to it. And so, yeah. So I thought I'd do Tuesday this week because I did it last week as kind of like a fluke, and it was more popular than I expected. And today is kind of like my Sunday, so it's easier for me to stream late than on Sunday because I had to work on Monday. Man, I got these bug bites on my arm. I keep squeezing them out. It's gross, but yeah, I don't know. I gotta stop doing that. Anyways, sorry, that's gross. Sundial up 7% on the day, and just out of curiosity, Tilray up 8% on the day. So pretty similar breakout moves. Yeah, and this, let's see. But here, maybe this is bad. I am just gonna trash all this stuff because it's just too much. But yeah, the thing that has me a little bit concerned about Tilray, also here with Sundial, is like I'm just gonna connect some of these highs here. You know, we pulled up to that level of resistance. And so of course we could be breaking out. But as of right now, there's no sign of us breaking out. There's just a sign of us going above and getting rejected from that resistance level, having not traded above that level. So it is good that we've traded above it. But like with this downtrend with Tilray, didn't trade above it, and then we did get a wick above, and then now maybe there's a break above. And so with Sundial closing just below that level, or should I say SNDL, yeah, so I mean, I think that this is, I mean, it could keep going. Lots of volume. Didn't continue in the after hours. Well, actually, stayed flat in the after hours pricing. Got to take that with a grain of salt. But let's see. I mean, looking at the, the MACD here, flip green, looking good. This is flipping green. And so, I mean, maybe this is looking similar to, this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trading days with it being green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so maybe it goes up a little bit higher, but I could see this pulling back. And like I could see this pulling back to another trend line here. Yeah, look at that. I think that's cool. That, I just draw that there, and that kind of is, support here, bounced up. And so this could be like the fake out breakout, gets people excited, but then it pulls back. And so, yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't necessarily have long-term or even like mid-term. I have a bullish thesis on the cannabis sector, I feel like, with legalization and stuff around the election. But I feel like there could be some discounts before then. And so like pulling back to the base of this wedge, that's like a 12% drop, maybe 10%, depending on how long it takes. But it doesn't even have to pull back all the way to there. That's, that could just be me being a little greedy or something. So if I connect the lows over here, maybe it pulls back to $2. Or actually, I don't know that it'd pull back to $2. That'd be pulling back to this consolidation. Maybe it pulls back to 205. So like if I was like, I have to get into this, I would probably, and I recognizing, but I might be getting left behind, I'd probably place a limit buy at 205. I find that to be compelling because it's not coming back to 2, like the range over here where it was consolidating. It's not breaking this uptrend, which would make me feel good, and it corresponds with, the highs over here. This consolidation, that would then be acting as support. So I could see it. I'm just going to do a little bit of a drawing. I could see it. Dang it. That's not what I wanted to do. I could see it doing this. And so I'll make that thick, solid, and because it's cannabis, I'll make it green. Yeah, so I could see something like that. So 205 or maybe, I don't know, 206. Who knows? But I mean, I could see that. I feel like this move, it makes me feel like, but my thesis, it's like kind of based on my thesis with Tilray that it's going to come down to 142. I think that this is a fake out break. We've seen no spikes above it until this one, which was a rejection. So if you buy when it's above, you're buying the top, and then that's a pullback of, worst case scenario, 20% down to here, 15% or so. And so now it's like, I think it's like the next level up. It's just like, it's like, I don't know. I don't know a good analogy, but it kind of reminds me of like the beginning of Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, like the sequel, when Jim Carrey's, when it's the rhino that like gives birth to Jim Carrey, basically, and it's just like slowly pushing him out. And so this is like, slowly testing that level, poking out a little bit, nope, rejected, poking out a little bit more, nope, rejected, now breaking out, So I feel like, it's like giving birth to a big green candle. And so with Sundial, I feel like it's the same scenario. I feel like there's some resistance there. Let's look at some of the ETFs though. That looks like it's a breakout from this downtrend, same kind of thing I'm talking about but it's only one close above. So this could be pulling back. So I'd really, you want to look for two closes, not just one. MSOX, that looks like it's a breakout there. And yeah, CGC, I'll pull up that one as well. And this one, yeah, it could be a breakout. But yeah, I don't want to go down too deep into that rabbit hole. So I'll probably come back here to look at TMC for Nameless. And yeah, Ricardo, no problem. I hope that my analysis was helpful. And I'm just going to catch up on your comments here before I get into Nameless's request. And so I got GameStop too. I was going to load all that on GameStop, but instead FOMO'd into Gevo. I mean, like I feel like my thesis, like one of the things that I started this channel really just as a personal trading journal. I was having a tough time and having other channels that were failing, and personally, socially, I was having a tough time. So I just started doing a trading journal. And from these videos, it like forces me to follow up on things. And one of the things I've recognized is sometimes when I say something, I'm completely wrong. And like I feel like just like with Tilray, potentially. But, I feel pretty confident that GameStop's going to be coming down to $20 a share. But maybe we just saw this bounce here, and that was a fake out break below this uptrend. We're now above it. We got one close below it here. And so maybe the bottom's in with it. I don't know, but it could be coming down to 20. And so for me, I am looking forward to adding more at 20. But like I mentioned, I've got 46 shares. I have a very small position. I have a lot of AMC. But yeah, like with a lot for me, I should say. With GameStop, yeah, I mean, I just feel like this is, something on the downside. Like FOMO is something that gets all of us. And if there's a trade that's made based on FOMO, it can kind of eat us alive. So, I mean, I'd say what I would do, I think that there's still a possibility that this could be breaking higher or that it could still go back to 317. I think that's totally reasonable. And so, I mean, I'd probably just place a limit sell at 318, so you get back what you put in, all of it. And then after that, then just put that into GameStop or keep it on the side for something that looks like it's a discount. And so by real discount, I mean something that's like, this chart's inverted. And that could be, I mean, of all of these charts that I've gone over so far, if there was one that I was planning on buying that was not AMC or GameStop, I am most intrigued by Rivian. And I put that in my notebook, and I need to add to my position because I think that this looks really good. And it's a company, it's a stock that I like. So, like, even if I'm wrong, and I mean, you could have a stop loss level here and 983. If it puts in a new low, then it's kind of like, well, look out below. Because, actually, no. Well, that's not a new low. 52-week low is over here, 826. But yeah, I mean, like when it's coming down, so here was the low. Like when it broke that low, what did it do? It did bounce a little bit, but then it went lower. Yeah, I mean, I guess not that much more, but I don't know. And talking about GameStop, add at 20. Me too, adding at 20. I added when it dropped and got 1980, 17,000 shares, or 1,700 shares. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I think that we're like, whether it's GameStop or AMC, I did a video. It's kind of a long one. It focuses on AMC. I'm just going to pull it up here and then nameless, sorry, and then I'll go over the metals company. But let's see. I think this is, I want to go to my channel. All right, and so videos, I'm just going to search AMC here. And this will, so there's that. So I had done one. Why aren't these in order? I think they're like in order of popularity. So I'm just going to go to playlists and I'll look up the AMC playlist. Okay, and so play all. I just want to view the playlist. And so let's break out a wedge next week. Okay, yeah, so this video, AMC Psychology, 2 Gaps, and GameStop. And so I mainly talk about AMC throughout it, but I go over market psychology, 2 gaps that are there, which are, an AMC, GameStop, these 2 gaps, AMC, these 2 gaps, and, also mention GameStop. And so in that, I'm just talking about how I feel like it's if I were to be bullish, on either of these stocks, that would be that, like, and I feel like AMC for these gaps is perhaps a better example, but it's the same idea. Just that, if people are waiting for this gap to be filled at $291, maybe it goes down to $3 and they don't buy in, and then it goes up to $685. And then the people that were waiting for $291 see then that this gap is getting filled. Then they say, well, crap, we're getting left behind. I'm getting left behind. So I am then going to FOMO in up here, or maybe FOMO in up here. And then that drives it even higher. So I feel like this is just a beautiful setup to leave people behind who then FOMO in, and then like people get left behind. They see it starting to squeeze, whether it's because of options or other stuff, who knows. Then these people don't want to get left behind, so then they buy in, and then that pushes it even higher. And so it's just like so many catalysts for this going up more. And I think that these 2 gaps could play a very important role in that. And I don't think this one's going to be filled at 291. And with GameStop, I don't think this one at 1746 is going to be filled. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm really excited. And I'm really excited. I've been seeing more infighting over the past month or two with both stocks. Just retail getting more testy with each other on X. And yeah, I mean, I just think that it's been boring following this big move, following this other big move that weren't as big as we would expect. I'd expect it to be up to 3 digits. AMC, I mean, like I like to see it getting up to 40. Yeah, so I mean, I think that there's just a lot of upside potential, and that the fact that it's boring now, I feel like that's a really good time. And so, like with AMC, what I've been doing, I need to make a video on it, a follow up. But I've been buying calls that expire in let's see, June 20th. $8 strike. And so I think my average is around 55 or something. Or maybe it's 60, I don't know. But I've been buying. Um, small positions, one at a time. And yeah, so I'm excited. But anyways, I need to get to the metals company. And so let's see. Just following up. Okay, what about RKT? Uh, is RKT a ticker? I'll add it up here, but I do have to go over TMC first. RKT. Rocket, yeah, I can look that up as well. First, yeah, I got to go over TMC. And AMC CEO just kind of scares me, and I've never really looked deep into it. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like fundamentally, GameStop is much better of an investment, in my opinion, because they just have access to a lot of cash now. They've been really smart with their shares. And AMC has a good amount of debt. And so they're working on paying that down and or extending it, so they're doing good with that. Um, I think that movies are coming back. I think that we've seen some, I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, come on, movies are back, and we're sick and tired of all of the boxes that are checked in the DEI or woke whatever movies and stuff. And Deadpool and Wolverine was just good wholesome bloody fun. And I think we need to start seeing more movies like that. And I think that was a great example of we need to bring that back. That kind of like unfiltered creativity. And yeah, I mean, I don't think I think that Adam Aaron's a good CEO. People have criticized him and stuff, but I mean, if AMC's still around following the pandemic, and they've been, a company that's been targeted. And so, and they've got a tough balance sheet but I think they've been tightening it up because they've just got, a number of theaters that need to be renovated. And so, yeah, they're just kind of tightening that up and dropping the ones that don't have good business, upgrading the ones that do. And yeah, I mean, I enjoy going to movies. I kind of wasn't going to movies for a while, I think because of school or work or because of girlfriends not being into them. But lately, I unfortunately don't live in a town where there's an AMC. But every other Tuesday, it's $6 for a movie. I get a free small popcorn. And yeah, I go by myself. And I just like it. It's a nice way to put down the phone, to kind of detach for a little bit, get in the zone, enjoy some candy, some popcorn. And yeah, so I mean, I really like that a lot. That's like kind of a pastime that I've had throughout my life. A lot of fond memories going to movies. So yeah, but I mean, uh, GameStop, AMC, whatever you do, I don't want to push anything on anybody because uh, I know it's a totally huge burden, and that is why, like with AMC, GameStop, when they do start to move higher and stuff, and if they're starting to sustain, I'm not going to necessarily encourage it, but I won't discourage people lowering their risk so that and also too. Sorry, I'm getting on with the psychology about stuff, but even just looking at TMC. So I'll do this example with TMC. But if people are just buying, and it's like it doesn't matter what the bounce is, people just keep buying. It's never going to go up. But if people are seeing, oh, it's weak here, I'm going to buy. It's overbought here, I'm going to sell and then buy back here. That puts more, it's like stair stepping up. And retail could be driving that. But if retail is only buying and holding, they're not creating the kind of volatility that could be shaken out shorts or just throwing a wrench into whatever hedge fund has the thesis of, well, retail is just buying and holding. If we mix that up, if we throw a wrench into it, if we're more dynamic, then it could really start to stir things up, and then we could see a move up, like buy here, sell here, buy here, sell here, buy here, sell here. Then you're getting more shares and you're getting a lower average and or just lower risk. So, I mean, I think that's good. Okay, so anyways, TMC, sorry, nameless. With this, still respecting that low. I feel like I'm kind of moving out of the phase of Fibonacci's because it just clutters the chart too much. And so what I could see here with this, what would be really useful is just an uptrend going from the low here, 79.8 cents, and then connecting to the low here from 912. I mean, we're kind of at not make or break, but kind of make or break. Testing that level, I think the low from today could be a very notable low. It is, $1 a share. So that's going to be 101, whatever it is. So I don't know that these levels that I drew in the past, because we did break below this. Let's try to clean this up, see what I can see. I mean, like, you could draw that from a number of different pivot points. I'm just going from here, the high from July 26th, and here, the high from September 27th. And so that looks like there's a wedge. Is it going to break to the upside or the downside? Let's see, what was the low from over here? The low was 97.3 cents. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe like, I don't know, stop losses, I'm not sure. I was going to say 95, and that actually corresponds with the open here. Maybe 95 is a good level to be paying attention to. If we see a close below 97, I think that's looking bad. If we see two closes below 97, I think that's looking like this uptrend's broken. And maybe if we see closes below 95, yeah, I mean, I think that this is clearly broken, and we could be coming back down to the lows from over here, which could be like sub 90 cents. But looking at this, though, like looking at the data that I have here, thinking about the MACD, it's up here a little bit red for 2 days, up here, and it's just been kind of flat red. And how is this trending now? So this is negative 0.004, negative 0.002, negative 0.003, which is effectively the same as this one. This is 0.028, 0.003, now 0.025. I think, I mean, and looking at the RSI, it was 44.30 here. Here it was 43.38. It's going higher now. So I'd like to see this break to the upside, but just because I'd like to see that doesn't mean that's going to happen. And so I keep an eye on closes around 97 and 95. I'd not like even like a wick down to 95 doesn't mean it's breaking down, but I feel like that just kind of suggests some weakness that's putting in a lower low than it has been over here with that low at 97.3. And yeah, I can add, let's see, yeah, no problem, nameless. So hopefully that's helpful with TMC. But I feel like this is, I would, if I were to bet on this, I'd say, like, I feel like, or if I were to assign like a percentage confidence, I'd say I feel like more like 60% to the upside, 40% to the downside. But with that being said, I'd probably have a stop loss around 95 cents, or I'd have an alert at 95 cents. And if it wicked down to there but closed above, then I'd probably exit if I were to like establish a new one or something. But if I was, had bought higher up, I'm not sure. But do I think if TMC comes down to 80 cents, I think that could be a bad sign because it's already got this like double bottom here right around 80 cents. And so I would want to see that go higher. If it pulls back again, I would think, from 80 cents, it went up, 150%. And then from 80 cents again, it only went up 50%. And then if it pulls back to 80 cents, maybe it goes up 20% and then breaks down below 80 cents. So I think that if it came down to 80 cents again, I would think that's a bad sign that it's probably going lower. And maybe I had this drawn up before, but I'm just going to see from the low here. Yeah, so that's not helpful. But yeah, so I'm going to delete that so it's not too cluttered. But yeah, because like one thing that I've been doing is like, I mentioned this with the Rivian that I have a buy order for, I only have 15 shares, small position, don't want to be emotional with it. I have a buy order placed at 983. And I'm just thinking about that. And it's like, there's no way that's going to be filled. And if it does get filled, that just means it's going lower. And so while it was coming down and then it bounced here, sure, that's valid. If it's like, well, I'm slowly going to build a position as it goes down because I like this stock and I want more. But if it now has been consolidating and looking like it's showing some strength, if it were to come back to 983 again, then it's like it's definitely going lower, and I probably shouldn't be buying. So I feel like that's kind of like a similar type of thing. Like if this came down to 983, I wouldn't be surprised if it came back to 832 or, $9. And then so why would I be buying at 983 when I could just wait for 9 or 875, a 618 right here? I guess that's an extension. Yeah, coming from up here. And so, yeah, with TMC and, yeah, I don't know, but I just at least have an alert at 95 cents. And if it wicks down to that level or if it closes below that level, that you could then reassess. Because I feel like at this point, a stop loss at 95 cents, you could be stopping out at a wick down and then it takes off. So I would at least have an alert at 95 cents and just kind of monitor that. And I'd keep an eye on this trend line, the low from August 5th, as well as the low from September 12th. And so, yeah, Upwork I will add. But I think I need to go over Rocket for Ricardo. So this one, I think this one looks like it's probably going to keep coming down. And this is also, yeah, this is like, is this Rocket Mortgage or is this Rocket Companies is a financial technology company consisting of mortgage real estate. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I think that from, let's see, from not Gareth Soloway, my subscriptions from David Lynn. A lot of his people are kind of bearish. A lot of them are bearish. I think he had one, real estate crisis looming. So I have not watched this. I will share it to the channel. Why does it keep doing this, though? What the hell? Okay, there we go. I just had to refresh, I guess. I don't know. Haven't watched yet, but may be interesting regarding real estate. Yeah, so hopefully, so you should be able to see that. I really like his. I don't typically do like. I probably watch longest, like, 20 minutes for like Gareth Soloway's game plan or like trading the close. But I really like some of the people he interviews. This guy here, I really like him. I think he's a good speaker. Some of them are just very dull, though. Let's see. This guy, I found him to be a very he's like I'm not sure why it has this like advertisement thing there. But he's kind of like a boomer investor, and he said something along the lines of um, like everybody's just so comfortable. They've piled into the S&P 500. The boomer generation has really just gotten so complacent in just like numbers going up. And when everybody's piled into the same thing, that's when it gets risky. And, so it's like, I think I shared this, let's see, on, is this, oh, no, I want to go to view channel, community page. Let's see, I share some stuff for this guy. I think that he's a really good speaker. Recommended from, yep. So this, boomers have gotten complacent and lots of new tech requires energy, short retirement funds, and long nat gas soon. That's kind of what I'm thinking about doing. And actually, I posted that, and that would have been a good time to long nat gas, but I think shorter term, I am waiting for a little bit more of a dip. But yeah, I try to share stuff from David Lin. I like his stuff. Share GameStop stuff from Richard Newton. Again, I didn't really watch this stuff too much before. But it's just kind of nice having coffee in the morning, just listening to what he's talking about. Nice to start Friday. This, good information on the market. So that I think could be really useful. But I'll come back to this. Rocket, for me, maybe it could be at some support if I draw a trend line. That's kind of where price is at right now. But this is not super beefy support at that point. It'd probably come down a little bit more. But maybe that is something. But what I would really, it's let's see, if I draw a Fibonacci from just being approximate here to there, pull back to just below the 50%. And actually, maybe I want to just extend that up to here. Yeah, and actually what we have here is this double top with the higher high there. I am not looking at it, not even with the corner of my eye. But we have this higher high. What do we see in the RSI? Lower high. That's bearish divergence. And not that that's super significant all the time, especially because this is just 2 points. But that's at a pretty big high, after a pretty big high. From the lows over here, that's gone up hundreds of percent. Let's see how much percent. 250%. And it's only pulled back 23%. So I think this has more room to go to the downside. I could see it pulling back to, believe it or not, I'm sure you don't want to, but right around here, you got all these, wicks up there, tops up there, consolidation over here. That's coming down to $12. So yeah, I think that this still looks risky. It's you have to wait until it has formed a bottom, not anticipate a bottom. And just here, it's oh, it formed a bottom, and then it goes up from the bottom here up 10%, but then it pulls back 5%. And yeah, then this is just going up we're taking the stairs down, And so in my view, what would negate this pattern is if we put in a higher high. A higher high. So now it's lower high, lower high, lower high. So I feel that's going to keep going. But if it gets above this high, 1889, then that would be a new scenario where it's put in a higher high. And then maybe what we start to see, and by the way, I'm drawing this, so it's definitely not going to happen. But maybe we start to see something like this. And that's an inverse head and shoulders pattern. And then that pull back launch. Maybe something like that. Because I drew that, it is definitely not going to happen. But yeah, I mean, I could see something like that. Inverse head and shoulders pattern. With this being like a neckline, a hypothetical neckline that has not formed yet. I like to draw those purple. Actually, that would not be the neckline. I'm sorry. Getting ahead of myself. The neckline would be, you know, like right, this is a hypothetical neckline. I'll just draw it from over here, there. And so from that, we could take a measurement to see that the break, you know, and so effectively just be going like that. And so that would then be, you know, 10% move from that break or from down here, 25%. So not saying that this is going to happen, but, and you wouldn't really know until you started to see, okay, we're starting to put in a higher high. So, yeah. It could fit well into that day, cup, and handle if you zoom out. Let's see. Oh, day, cup, and handle. Oh. So I'm just going to remove my drawings. If I put it on the weekly, I mean, it could definitely be a cup. And this is the handle, but then you'd want to see it like going up to that level to like test it. And I mean, maybe that could be happening, but yeah, I mean, I like, maybe it would be like good to look. Yeah. And this is also like, on the weekly time frame, I've talked about like the rising three methods. This kind of reminds me of the falling three methods where you have a big red candle, three smaller like inside bars, and then a big red candle. There are only two candles in between, but then this is like a big move down. We'll see how the week ends, but if it ends around current price, I feel like it looks like the downside's not over because, you know, you could draw like a trend channel, take the trend channel tool. It's still in this channel. It hasn't broken out. And so like I feel like the best thing to do is like if you can't find something that looks bullish, stop looking. Because you're just going to like end up convincing yourself something's there that it's not. And so this, I mean, maybe, yeah, it could be like a bull flag or something. But I mean, at least for me, the analysis that I've done, I've only just looked at it right now. I'm actually going to add it to the DGen Ed list. But yeah, I mean, it could just keep going down. So I feel like there's got to be a sign that says that it bottoms in and that it's getting ready to break out. But yeah, I've got to go do Upwork and then I'm going to wind this down. Okay, yeah, so this, you know, I imagined this to happen. It did not happen. For Upwork, I was hoping that would happen. Oh, well. This is putting in a lower low. And let's see. So maybe it's just good to monitor it from like this. I'm going to delete this Fibonacci because it's just too cluttered. Oh, man. So let's see. The low here, 1002. And then the low here, 993. 1002, 993. Yeah, okay, so I think that's a level to keep in mind. This, you know, that's Dragonfly Doji, not exactly open, close, exact same price. Opened at 1007, closed 2 cents lower. But, big wick to the bottom, to the downside, and closing in the upper portion. So that makes me think that, and what could be actually like bullish, and, this is, maybe I shouldn't draw it, but, maybe we see like all, rather than doing a rectangle because it locks in, oh crap, it didn't do it. But yeah, maybe we see like a green candle and a reversal, and then I would think that's very good. Yeah, so this wick down to 993, not so great, but maybe that's just like sweeping the lows. So people saw this low here at 10.02, and then they see this big move up, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm locked in. This is going higher. 10.02 is my stop loss level. Get 2 wicks below it. Maybe this wick shakes people out, and they say, oh, well, crap. It closed up here, though. I'm going to reestablish, but now I've got a new low. It's not going to go hit that low again. And then they get shaken out again the day after. And so, yeah, I think that this could be, let's see. Well, let's see. We're looking at the MACD. It's getting more negative, it looks like. Yesterday, it was negative 0.0535. Now it's negative 0.06. So yeah, that could be going lower. Oh, and we've got something else here that we could look at. I need to clean this up. Sorry, I hope that none of this is like too significant or anything. But yeah, I'm just going to clean this up so I can draw some more stuff on here. Maybe that yellow level is a good one to pay attention to. Yeah, the low over there. I don't think this is too important anymore. But yeah, we could do another trend line though. So, or array, I should say. So 843 here. 890 there. The low, no. 890, yeah, okay. So there's a trend line there. So yeah, I feel like worst case scenario be coming down to like 956. And so I'd look for this to bounce. This because big move down. This does look like it could be, big wick, a dragonfly doji that's, and at the bottom here that suggests a reversal. And yeah, so I'd look for this to move back up to reclaim what was lost yesterday. Which was, opening at 10:35. So I'd look for a close around 10:35 tomorrow. And what I might do, maybe I will be alerted of it, maybe not. I'm going to create an alert at 10:35. Ooh. And I'm going to delete these other ones. And so 10:35, I'm going to have an alert there. I'm very curious to see how this closes tomorrow. It'd be really cool if it got back up there. But if not, I like lower low, not so great, but not terribly lower closes. They have been lower closes. But yeah, so hopefully there's something there. And so, yeah. And yeah, no problem, Ricardo. And so with all of that, I think I'm more or less caught up. Nameless, I hope it was helpful going over Upwork as well as the metals company. But yeah, I'm going to get signing off so I'm not too tired at the start of trading tomorrow. Thank you all for hanging out. I hope you guys had fun. And I hope you're ready for, hump day trading tomorrow. And yeah, I'll try to have some videos out. I'm not sure exactly what they'll be on, but maybe Rivian's a good one for me to put a video out on because I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, I got to adjust my buy orders on that one. And yeah, so with that being said, if you guys, I'm sure you're all subscribers, but if you have not yet liked the stream, please make sure you do. Share it with those who you think might enjoy it. And I will stream again Sunday evening. And I might try to do, 2 streams a week, one during the week and typically one on Sundays. And yeah, I'm just trying to get out more videos. I just end up being super drained from work because I work 12-hour shifts that are 12 and a half hours. And and trying to wrap up stuff before winter. So I'm just exhausted. And all I really want to do is be spending time working on the channel and just seeing it grow. But yeah, and so that all is all because of you guys. So thanks for hanging out. And I've already had my little beverage there. But I've got some, I wasn't feeling so great before, so I made myself a little vitamin drink emergency. So cheers to you guys and our health. We got to stay healthy. All right, good night, guys. Take care trading. Have good luck trading tomorrow. And yeah, I'll see you Sunday, if not, in the comments section up until then. So take care, you guys.